Welcome to the cityCURRENT radio show. I'm your host, Jeremy Park. We're always honored to bring you inspiring stories of individuals and organizations making a difference, empowering the good, and sharing some exciting news and a lot of good news, in fact, with Meka Egwuekwe. He is the co-founder and executive director with CodeCrew. And Meka, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well, Jeremy. Thank you so much for having me. It's great to see you again, as always. And just thank you for everything you're doing for our great city.
Hey, absolutely. You're doing a tremendous amount of good on your end with your team. And when you talk about just good news, I feel like every time you're coming on in a good way, you got good news to share. And today is no exception. But let's start with a little context about CodeCrew. So we have a little bit about the organization. Give us a quick history for CodeCrew.
Sure, absolutely. CodeCrew was founded in May of 2015 by myself, Petya Grady, and Audrey Willis. The three of us came together with some support from the Memphis Grizzlies Foundation to bring computer science education to kids in Binghamton at the Lester Community Center. But the three of us as founders saw it as an opportunity to move the needle in Memphis around computer science education. And so now we've grown to where we offer in-school electives classes in about a dozen schools in Memphis. We do after-school programs in some additional schools, as well as at the Lester Community Center and at the library and so forth. A lot of that's turned to virtual by way of COVID, but hopefully we'll see these kids again in person again very soon. But we also have the Hour of Code. We celebrate we do the largest youth hackathon in the Memphis area. We now started training teachers to teach computer science in schools. We've been successful getting legislation passed in Nashville for computer science education. And we've also started training adults since 2018 with an adult coding boot camp. So it's really turned into a movement, if you will. But we've said from the beginning as founders that we wanted to build a culture of coding, a culture of computational thinking, a culture of problem solving and tech producers in Memphis like we've never seen before.
See, I told the listeners you had a lot of good going on. So how many people, it's just a basic range when you look at the youth and the amount of adults now that you're serving, what's a basic range of individuals that are going through your programs?
Sure. So for the youth, with COVID, we're down in the 400 to 500 kids a week range. Pre-COVID, we were in the 500 to 600 kids a week range that we were directly serving. In terms of training teachers, we trained some 36 teachers now in and around Memphis to teach computer science in schools, and so through them, we're impacting thousands of kids beyond that, 10,000 or more kids. And then through our adult programming, we have definitely been challenged because of COVID in terms of enrollments, right? A lot of schools, a lot of colleges have been seeing declines in enrollment. So we've been challenged there. Our capacity for these classes is 25, but during COVID, we've not quite hit that. But that gives you some idea of the scale of the adult program. And that's every 6 months we try to do that with our full-time program.
Yeah. Talk about what it means in terms of opportunities for the students and the adults. I think for the adults, it's kind of an automatic parlay into job opportunities. And so it's a job and an economic mobility catalyst, if you will. For the students, it opens them to new opportunities and careers as well, but it's also problem solving, discipline, helping them advance their grades. I mean, there's so much of a ripple effect in terms of what you're doing, but talk about the impact of what CodeCrew is creating.
Well, you're absolutely right. So for the impact for adults is a straight play. Can we get you into a job that pays you $50,000 a year or higher, right? And so our placed graduates are averaging about 15,000 when they come in, and they're averaging about 51,000 once they're placed. And so that's been going well. That's been life-changing for numerous individuals. So we're thankful for that. For the kids, yes, it's much broader in terms of the K-12 space. And that is, can we get kids to pursue college, career, and entrepreneurship in this space, right? Can we get them to see themselves as tech producers? Can we positively impact their critical thinking skills? Can computational thinking help them across their other subjects in the matters like you were just mentioning, things, not just math and science, but English and history, even PE classes, you can apply some of these skills. And so when we talk about computational thinking, we're really talking about four basic things. We're talking about decomposition of large problems into smaller ones. We're talking about pattern recognition. We're talking about algorithms, and we're talking about abstracting ideas, right? And so those things aren't just limited to computer science, even though they're essential if you're going to accomplish anything with respect to computer science. But the good thing is that when the coding develops those areas such that they apply across all your other subjects in the ways that that they do. And so it is that's why, you know, a lot of people think that we're just trying to teach kids to code, and that's not really what we do, right? We're trying to teach kids how to think computationally and apply these aspects of computational thinking across everything that they do, right? And so that's why you know, it's also a success when a child, you know, they're in one of our coding classes, and they or, you know, a summer camp or something, after school program or in school program, and they say, you know, I just don't really enjoy this, right? But that's fine, right? Because at least they're making an informed decision that this is not something they enjoy per se, but they're still at the same time learning these computational thinking concepts that help them in their other subjects, right? So it's not all about just making coders and software engineers. It's about making thinkers and doers is what we're doing.
Absolutely. And you're also putting Memphis on the map and making it a very attractive city for companies who are looking for these high-tech skills and these coders. And so you're creating the opportunities for companies to come and to build capacity here in Memphis as well. So there's a lot of really cool ripple effects in terms of what you're creating. But let's dive into this good news. And it comes from really more than $3 million in terms of an investment that the NBA Foundation is making to support Black economic empowerment. And so one of 9 organizations to receive the financial contributions from the NBA Foundation. Talk about kind of the backstory of this award and share the good news.
Sure, absolutely. Well, I mean, the backstory is that prior to last year, the NBA Foundation didn't exist. Right? That some may recall that a young person was killed by the police, if I recall correctly, in Wisconsin, and the Milwaukee Bucks decided to not play the basketball game that night as a moment of remembrance for that person, but also to bring attention to the challenges around social justice that we've all been speaking of especially of late, but certainly really been speaking of for generations. And that turned into a ripple effect where not only other teams in the NBA were not playing that night, but other teams in other leagues were not playing around the world, right? And those who at the NBA decided that they would take that moment and actually create its own foundation. Many individual teams like the Memphis Grizzlies have had their own foundations. Memphis Grizzlies Foundation was one of our earliest supporters, as I mentioned, right? But now with the NBA Foundation, they were very focused on making a positive economic impact on Black communities. And they target young people, 14 to 24 is their primary target group, to invest in economic upliftment opportunities for these young people. And so they gave their first round of grants in December of 2020. And then in March, we got the word. In April, it was announced that they chose CodeCrew as well as the Collective Blueprint in Memphis to be recipients amongst the 9 or so that are in this second round around the country. And the idea for us, both organizations, we actually applied separately, but with the idea in the application that we would be working with the other, right? And so they knew that we were, their process, they never actually had pairs of organizations apply, so they didn't have a process to do that. So they said, okay, well, you each apply, but reference each other in it, and which is what we did. This was actually the brainchild of Elliot Perry, for us to actually jointly apply in this way. And so when we were, of course, both selected, we were thrilled. There's a myth out there that we're getting $3 million ourselves. We're just getting a slice. But the great thing is that we're able to join forces now and bring our respective strengths together to develop a new generation of software engineers. What CodeCrew does, what we've done for some time, first with kids and now with adults, is that play of getting folks into having these tech skills. The adult program very narrowly focused on getting folks placed into jobs as software engineers. And so we're building on that success that I mentioned earlier. Our friends at the Collective Blueprint, they have had since 2017, since they were founded, they have had a cohort model where they have provided all types of wraparound supports to individuals to get them into a number of different spaces, from healthcare to information technology to skilled trades like welding and other spaces. And what they do is they combine coaching and mentoring and like community mentors that are separate from their coaches, for example, as well as transportation support and mental health support and a lot of different services to wrap around, as well as their own specific trainings to wrap around these individuals to make sure they're more successful at whatever path they choose for a career. In this case, with the MBA Foundation, we're able to actually do a dedicated cohort that is just for software engineers, right? So all of these young people will be pursuing the same dream in this case. And so we're optimistic that that's going to produce even greater returns for them in terms of being there for each other to finish what they start and get into these $50,000 a year jobs. So we're excited.
Talk about the deadline, because I know there's a June deadline in terms of the opportunity to sign up. So talk about the sign up process and how it works.
Sure. So it's easy to sign up. You can actually just go to CodeCrew's website and click. In fact, there's a big banner there that says MBA Foundation. Click more, learn more here, and then there's a link to apply that way. And so that's the easiest way. The Collective Blueprint they also on their website have a similar thing, and then the process is this: that first you apply, and secondly, you're expected to participate in a one-day workshop with us that doesn't cost you anything, but it's an opportunity for you to see what coding is, see if it's something that is something you might want to do for a career. It gives us an opportunity to also see you and your passion for it, right? And from there, then you're invited to do an interview. And so you're jointly interviewed by the Collective Blueprint and CodeCrew. It's less than an hour, so it doesn't take a lot of time at all. And then that number that make it through that interview process will be the ones invited to the cohort that actually starts on June 14th, 2021. And on June 14th, they'll actually begin their first 2 weeks of engagement with the Collective Blueprint. And then the coding classes began on June 28th at that point. So that's sort of like the intake process there. And again, the requirements are you have to be 17 to 30 years old in this case. You have to live in greater Memphis. You have to at least have a high school diploma, or if you're a current high school senior, you're about to graduate. I'm forgetting something. You can't currently be enrolled in some other certificate program or in college right now. Let me clarify something too, that we are certainly big fans of college, CodeCrew and the Collective Blueprint. We think those who are in college should go to college, stay to college if you have the aptitude and the means to do it. This is an opportunity for those who don't see college in their pathway, or maybe have tried college and hasn't worked out for them for one reason or another. That should not be the end of you having the ability to plug into these kinds of careers. And so that's what this is designed for. So we don't want to pull anyone from college to do this, but we want to supplement what the colleges are doing by producing productive citizens that can contribute to the economy in these above average ways.
How long is the program overall?
Absolutely. So the program is 9 months. So ordinarily, historically, with CodeCrew, our coding boot camp is 6 months. But with the supports with the collective and with us taking a modular approach with respect to the technical elements and having some gaps in between, the window is 9 months overall at that point. And which is great, because you're going to get in-depth coaching for 9 months. You're going to have your own mentor for 9 months. You're going to have all these other supports that the Collective Blueprint provides. Plus, you're going to have even more time to get that in-depth experience with the technical aspects and be further prepared at the end to step into that internship and that full-time employment opportunity.
Yeah. I mean, just like anything, when you talk about especially the technical side, it's not something you can just learn overnight. So to your point, to have 9 months of immersive training and mentorship and guidance and coaching, that's a huge leg up and advantage. Once again, mention the website where everyone can go to learn more about CodeCrew and obviously this opportunity.
Absolutely. So you can go to code-crew.org. That's CODE-CREW.org. And immediately you'll see a banner there. But you can also click where it says Code School and click where it says MBA program. And there you can read more about the program, but also immediately click the apply button if you're interested in applying. And so that's the easiest way to do so. Certainly also follow us on social media, because we are regularly and routinely posting about this opportunity as well. And so those would be the ways I would direct people to get plugged in and started with us. And we certainly hope that as many young people as possible step up to take advantage of this. I wish I were making more than $50,000 when I was 22, like some of our graduates are, and so this is a real opportunity that I think young people don't want to miss.
Absolutely. And so everyone make sure and help spread the word. But Meka, thank you for all you and your amazing team do. Congratulations on all the continued success, and keep up the good work, buddy. Greatly appreciate you being a part of the show.
Thank you so much, Jeremy. I really, really appreciate you giving us this opportunity to share, and you've just been a great friend to CodeCrew. So thank you again so much, and have a great rest of your day.